You know it's coming. Everything starts struggling once the heat really sets in. You water and it still looks stressed. Leaf starts wilting, growth slows down, and it feels like no matter what you do, nothing really is thriving. But there are a few crops that actually love this kind of weather. And if you plant the right ones, the heat stops being a problem and starts working for you. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to plant right now if you're dealing with high heat or you're going to be dealing with it coming up soon. These are not crops that just survive. These are crops that will thrive in it. Stay with me because at the end of the video, I got some really good Q&A for the crops we're going to be growing in this video. One of the vegetables at the very top of the list that really beats the heat is okra, and the flower is so beautiful. Okra is so dense in nutrition. Now, some people don't like it because of the sliminess, but that can be altered by the way that it's cooked and prepared. But let me just say this, that sliminess in the okra pod is called mucilage. And that mucilage is part of the high soluble fiber content. And we know by medical science that anything that's high in soluble fiber can help reduce cholesterol. And so this could be a health benefit for many people. And not only that, but because of the rich in nutrition that it has, it can help support bone health, immune function, skin health, heart health, digestion health, blood sugar health. And so really consider growing okra. There's so many things you can do with it. As far as growing okra, okra is one of those plants that does not just tolerate heat, it actually prefers it. So when the temperature starts to rise and other plants begin to struggle, okra is just getting started. It grows fast, it produces heavily, and once it gets going, it just keeps going. And you'll be able to see those pods come in, and if you stay on top of harvesting, like picking them every other day, it will continue to produce over and over again for quite a long while, because you want to harvest them while they're still young and tender, and it gives the plant what it needs to keep thriving and giving. So okra, yes. If you like okra, or if you're planning on planting okra, leave me a yes in the comments. My friend, if this video is helping you, go ahead and hit the like button, because when you do that, it really helps get it out to more people. Thank you. Now, this next one was practically made for this kind of heat. Cowpeas. I really like cowpeas. My very favorite is purple hulls. But whether they're purple hull peas, black-eyed peas, or another type of cowpea, this whole family of crops was built for hot summer heat. These are the kind of plants that you can really rely on when the temperatures stay high and the humidity sets in, because they're tough and they're also very low maintenance. They produce really well without needing a lot of attention. But here's what makes them even more valuable. They do not just grow in your soil, they are actually helping your soil at the same time. Because cowpeas are what's called nitrogen-fixing plants, which means as they grow, they're putting nutrients back into the soil. That's right. Isn't that great? So while you're harvesting from them, they are improving the ground at the same time. If you like cowpeas, please say cowpeas in the comments. Now, as they are helping your soil, they also help crowd out weeds. They can even attract beneficial insects to your garden. So you're not just growing food, you're building healthier soil for everything else that you plant there later. And on top of all of that, those purple pods are just so beautiful to look at in the garden. But it doesn't stop there. The next one on the list is sweet potatoes. You know, sweet potatoes really love the heat. And once they get established, they start spreading, growing, and filling in the space. And they do it aggressively with their beautiful vines. And speaking of the vines also are edible. Isn't that great? So this is one of those crops that really takes off when the weather gets hot. And if you give them space, they'll take off very aggressively. And what's great about sweet potatoes is that they give you more than just one benefit. Now, even with heat-loving crops, there are a few simple things that you can do that will make a big difference. First, water deeply, not constantly. You don't want to just lightly water every day. Give your plants a good deep watering so that the roots can grow down stronger into the soil. Second, mulch. Mulch is one of the best things that you can use in the heat. It helps hold moisture into the soil, keeps the roots cooler, and protects your plants from drying out too quickly. And third, give your plants some space. Good airflow helps prevent stress and keeps your plants healthier overall. It's not only about what you plant, it's also about how you support your plants in the heat. Now, before we go into our Q&A, if you have not subscribed to Follow Jesus Daily, I invite you to take a moment to subscribe to our channel and be a part of our community. First, let's start with okra. How often should I harvest okra? Harvest every 1 to 2 days, as the pods will grow very quickly from bloom to edible size, sometimes in 24 hours. What is the best way to ensure high yields? Harvest your pods when they're about 2 to 4 inches long, as leaving the old pods on the plant will signal it to stop producing. Why are my okra pods woody and tough? Well, they were probably left on the plant too long. Just pick them when they're small and tender. And you know, we all do it. The okra's green, the plants are green. It's easy to oversight it and leave an okra pod there. And the next day or two, it's going to be too large, woody, and tough. What are the best ways to start okra seeds? Soak your seeds in water for about 12 to 24 hours before planting to speed up the germination. Why do my okra leaves and pods have a sticky, clear substance? This is a natural, harmless secretion from the plant's glands. How do I handle the itchy hairs on the pods? Wear gloves and long sleeves when harvesting to protect your skin. I never pick okra without wearing long sleeves and gloves. What are the best companion plants? Marigolds can help deter pests like nematodes and aphids. What causes curved or bent okra pods? Sucking insects like stink bugs, which can be controlled with a natural insecticide. When is the best time to plant cowpeas? You want to wait until all danger of frost has passed and the soil temperatures are about 65 degrees Fahrenheit consistently, usually anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks after your last frost state. They thrive in hot weather. Do southern peas need rich fertilized soil? No. In fact, too much fertilizer, especially nitrogen, will produce lush vining plants with very few pods. They prefer low nutrients, well-draining soil, and they are legumes, meaning they fix their own nitrogen in the soil. Should I inoculate my cowpea seeds? Yes, especially if you have never grown legumes in that spot before, because using a garden inoculant specifically for peas and legumes helps ensure nitrogen fixation early on, and also it boosts the yields. How deep and far apart should I plant my cowpeas? Well, plant your seeds either 1 to 2 inches deep, and then your bush varieties should be planted anywhere from 2 to 4 inches in the row, and then make your rows 3 feet apart. Now, if you're having a vining type of cowpea, they need more space, anywhere from 8 to 10 inches between the plants. How do I save my cowpea seeds? Just allow your pods to fully dry on the vine. Then you pick and further dry them indoors in a well-ventilated area. Store your seeds in a cool, dry place, and you know they can remain viable up to 4 to 6 years. Now, growing sweet potatoes successfully is going to require warm weather, and you need it somewhere between 120 plus days, depending on which variety you choose. Loose, sandy soil in raised beds are good. We're going to use slips, and they're going to be planted after the last frost. The key practices will include using high phosphorus fertilizer. I recommend organic, consistent watering early on, but later not too much or it will make the potatoes crack. And when you harvest the potatoes, You know to do that when the leaves starts turning yellow. Then afterwards, you want them to be sweet, so you're going to have to cure them somewhere between 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit before you store them away. How do you grow sweet potato slips? Well, I do not sprout my slips in water. How I do mine is I get a pan, put the potato in it. You're going to cover the potato completely up with soil, water it, and then your sprouts will begin to grow. Let your sweet potato slips grow anywhere from 6 to 8 inches tall, and they need to have a root on it. When you pick it off from the potato, it's got to have some roots on it. If it's got a root on it, at that point you can go ahead and plant it wherever you're going to plant your sweet potato patch, be it in the ground or the container, or if you want it to have a few more roots, go ahead and stick it in a jar of water for a few days. Why are my sweet potatoes small but my vines big? If you use too much nitrogen, it's going to promote leaf growth over tuber development. So you're going to use less nitrogen but higher phosphorus and higher potassium fertilizers, and I will recommend organic. How would I know when to harvest my sweet potatoes? Harvest your sweet potatoes when your vines turn yellow or after the first frost, anywhere between 100 to 120 days after you plant them. How do I cure my sweet potatoes? Okay, you want to cure your sweet potatoes somewhere between 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 14 days, and you need high humidity to sweeten them up and also to harden their skin. So, if you want to plant something that beats the heat, these are the crops you want to focus on: okra, cowpeas, and sweet potatoes. These are not just surviving, they are thriving in the heat. My precious friend, the garden really teaches you a lot. Not everything is meant to grow in every season. And sometimes we are trying to hold on to things that just are not built for where we are right now. But when you plant what's meant for the season, that's where growth happens. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the sun." And when we understand that, we stop fighting the season that we're in and we start growing in it. So don't fight the heat. Grow what works with it. I am so grateful for our time together today. Remember, follow Jesus daily, and I will see you in the next video.